Hey, this is secret footage. I'm not sure who's gonna see this. Cheers. Lisbon, we coming.
Welcome back to this episode of FullCourt.Graham. On this episode, we're going back in time almost 3 years to when I was living abroad in Ireland. My friends decided to come visit me. We booked flights, we had no money, but we made the trip work anyways, and we had a blast doing it. I put together some of the video and photos we took, and this is what you're going to see now. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Ireland, Portugal, boys trip. Let's do it. This journey started in Toronto, as the boys took a red-eye flight out of Pearson Airport and landed in Dublin Airport bright and early, about 8 a.m. local time. They had no sleep, were completely jet-lagged, but were ready to go. After a quick breakfast, we dropped their bags at my place and headed straight out into the city. The goal for day one was very simple: get the legs moving and show the boys around Dublin. We wandered through city centre, soaked in the atmosphere, and of course had to pick up a few classic Irish flat caps for the crew. There was also a very important Dublin tradition we had to introduce the guys to, and that was making James ride the statue for good luck. But as expected, the boys crashed from jet lag, and we headed back for a couple hours of sleep. After some much needed rest, we were ready for our first night out in Dublin.
More? First Guinness. Get a good sip.
Outstanding. Let's go! I love you when you sing that song. I got love in my throat, cause you're gonna sing the words.
After a great, fun first night in Dublin, day 2 started with one of my favorite things to do while living in Dublin, and that was going for a hike. Our destination was Howth, a small harbour town right on the edge of the Irish Sea, with one of the most beautiful coastal trails in Ireland. So we rallied the troops, jumped on the Lewis, and rode it all the way to the final stop. From there, we made our way up onto the trail, and the views did not disappoint. But of course, the boys had another idea. About halfway through the hike, we decided to climb down toward one of the secret swimming spots along the coast. Now keep in mind, it was February. The water was absolutely freezing, but that didn't stop us. We jumped in, shocked our systems back to life, and somehow Danny even stayed in long enough to swim around with a seal that showed up to investigate all the chaos. After drying off and finishing the hike, we ended the day the proper way, a warm seafood chowder in the harbor. And just like that, another perfect day. After resting up from our morning hike, it was time for the bucket list item in Dublin, going to the Guinness Storehouse. If you've never been, it's part museum, part brewery experience, part bar, and basically a Guinness lover's dream. We worked our way through the exhibits, learned about the brewing process, and discovered some of the more bizarre Guinness marketing ideas over the years, like a fish riding a bike.
What is the fish doing?
But the best part comes at the very top, the gravity bar. Not a bad way to end the day. And somehow, the trip was only just getting started. The next day, we headed back into the city, but before we even made it to the pub, something strange happened. We turned a corner and suddenly realized we had walked right into a TV production.
What are we doing
What
here?
is going on? Yo, Ben. Thoughts?
This is crazy, bro.
James?
I think I gotta hop in.
After standing around confused for a few minutes and trying not to ruin any shots, we eventually carried on towards the pub. And that's where the real night began. Live music, pints of Guinness, and good friends. I mean, what more can you ask for?
What's your name, age, and occupation?
Aer Lingus pilot.
What's your name?
Aer Lingus.
Beautiful.
The journey to Portugal begins.
I love Portugal. Let me get to Portugal.
Lisbon, we coming.
That was unreal. That was the best music we had.
That's the goal
That was
right there.
unreal.
Lisbon, we coming.
We're coming. Be scared.
Thank you, Lisbon. All right, Dublin.
Now remember earlier when I said we had absolutely no money? Well, this is where this really came into play. Instead of paying for another night somewhere, we decided to do the logical thing and sleep at the airport. Because we had a 5 a.m. flight to Lisbon, and let's just say, after a full night at the pub, the boys were feeling it.
Okay, just checking in with the fellas here, man. How we doing?
We're at the airport right now. James has got we built this city on rock and roll.
Let's see how Julian's doing. Got the COVID mask on the eyes. Relaxing. We got Braden. Oh, bro's awake. We got Spang. We got Lush.
Watch your 8A.
We landed in Lisbon early the next morning and dropped our bags at the hostel. At that point, the group split into 2 very clear camps. Half the guys needed sleep immediately, the other half, still somehow running on pure adrenaline, decided to explore the city. And Lisbon did not disappoint. The narrow cobblestone streets, colorful tiled buildings, old streetcars climbing up the hills, it felt like every corner looked like a postcard. Eventually, we made our way up to Castelo de São Jorge, a massive castle overlooking the entire city. From the top, you get a full 360-degree view of Lisbon. The river, the rooftops, the historic squares, and for some reason peacocks, just casually walking around the grounds. But after about 36 hours with absolutely no sleep, the crash finally came. After a low-key night, we woke up the next morning with one of the coolest plans of our entire trip. We were going surfing. First things first though, breakfast at our favorite spot in Lisbon. Shout out to Mendo Cafe.
Gentlemen.
Wow.
Gentlemen.
After loading up on food, we hopped into a van and started driving towards the coast. Along the way, we crossed the iconic Ponte 25 de Abril Bridge, past the massive Cristo Rio statue, and slowly made our way towards the Atlantic Ocean. When we arrived, it was basically a ghost town, which makes sense, because who exactly goes surfing in February? I mean, apparently we do. We suited up in wetsuits, ran down to the water, and spent the morning learning how to surf in the Atlantic. Cold water, huge waves, and honestly one of the cool experiences of the entire trip.
Surfing.
How we feeling, bro? Ben? How we feeling, boys?
Yeah, boys are.
Surfing USA.
Yeah!
After a great morning of surfing, we head back to the hostel to rest and hang out and get ready for the night ahead.
Video, bro. How we feeling?
We are feeling immaculate right now. Dua Lipa's playing. I got French apple cider with a cinnamon stick. Groovy, bro. I hit that.
I just did, bro.
After a fun night out in Lisbon, getting a hold of a bunch of electric scooters, we needed one thing the next morning, and that was food. From there, we made our way to something we'd randomly discovered earlier in the trip, a Portuguese second division soccer match. The stadium belonged to Club de Futebol Os Belenenses, and it might be one of the most beautiful stadium locations I've ever seen, perched above the Tagus River with incredible views across the water. And the best part, tickets were free if you wore blue to support the home team. So of course we were in. And the game ended up being incredible. The Ultras were chanting the entire match, there was a red card, a ton of chaos, and Belenenses pulled out a 2-1 win. It was one of those completely random travel moments that ended up being unforgettable, and we're fans for life. And after the match, we finished the day doing something very simple. Playing paddleball underneath the Vasco da Gama Bridge. Looking back at the footage, I think this moment sums up the entire trip. A group of friends in a place none of us had ever been before, just enjoying the moment together. It meant a lot that the guys came all the way over to visit me while I was living abroad. We were all broke college students at the time, but they still found a way to make this trip happen. And honestly, I wouldn't change a single part of it. Some trips are about the places you visit, but the best ones are about the people you experience them with. And this one, I'll remember forever.